This is probably going to be the hardest thing I've had to review ever.
Wanna watch you.
So, yeah, I went to go see Amazing Spider-Man 2 today. And I don't know how long this review is going to go on for, because there was a lot of shit that happened in this movie. And I'm not being sarcastic or anything, I'm being 100% serious. Also, there will be a fair few spoilers, because I have a feeling I'll say something. So if you're not sure, if you're unsure about seeing this movie and you want to see it maybe, then I will give my quick, honest review right now. I feel this is a very good movie. However, there are elements of it that I have issues with, but there's only a few, and it's not really the main ones that everyone seems to be pointing out. That I heard a few points. I didn't hear any spoilers before I went in, but I heard bits and pieces, and I can agree and disagree with some of those points. Pardon me, but in general, I think it's a very good film. If you're a huge fan of Spider-Man, and in my opinion, if you enjoyed the original Amazing Spider-Man reboot, you're gonna love this film. In my opinion. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very well done. So, now we go into the normal review. Warning, you have been warned. So, yeah, the film is 2.5 hours long. Which immediately I felt was too long. But only in specific scenes was I like, okay, this is... I mean, I wasn't bored during the whole thing. I felt that it could have been a little... Like, it could have got rid of that half an hour. But then you wouldn't have had the villains, pretty much. That was the problem. So, the movie starts with Peter's dad and his mum, basically Richard and Mary Parker, on the run, as it was in the first film. It kind of cuts in and out of before the events that are shown in the first film, and then afterwards from when they leave Peter. And they die in a jet plane because someone from Oscorp is on the plane trying to kill both of them, steal the information on Richard Parker's laptop so that nobody can find out about it, and he shoots his wife in the stomach and she's bleeding to death. He straps her in the plane and she's going unconscious and she's dying, and he's getting strangled by the seatbelt, and basically he points the gun at the window and goes, okay, and he shoots the gun. The window goes, everything's getting sucked the fuck out, the doors are going, the plane is already dive bombing because the pilot is fucking dead. So, it's already over. He knows it's over, his wife hasn't got long to live. Where the fuck are they going to go? I mean, shit, there's no way she's going to live. And in order to protect his son and others, he sacrifices himself, and he holds on to the guy that's fighting him, and eventually he lets go. And the guy flies out the window. He falls to his fucking death. He's dead. So they die. That's how they die. And then it cuts to Spider-Man falling, and he's saved a bill. So the start of the film is Paul Giamatti's character being a dumb shit. That's what Rhino is, really. He eventually becomes the Rhino. And basically, it goes through, and he is stealing plutonium. Spider-Man's trying to save him. Jamie Foxx's character, Max Dillon, is kind of a nerd, kind of goofy. Fucking dog. I apologise, guys, for any dogs that bark. And essentially, he is almost killed because of a car, and Spider-Man saves him and stops it. He pushes him down, and the car rolls over them. It's the bit from the trailer, and he's like, "Oh, I remember you. You were Max." And then he's like, "Nobody knows my name." He's like, "Oh, I need you. You're my eyes and ears and shit." And he's just being friendly and nice. He's not taking the piss or anything. If I pause, it's because I'm having Pepsi, sorry. So, he, that point, starts to go fanboy on Spider-Man. He's a huge fan at that point. He's like, oh, Spider-Man is incredible and all of this shit. And so, when we see him next, he's admiring Spider-Man. He wants to help Spider-Man. He's always looking out for him and stuff. And because he, at the end of the day, he just wanted someone to care about him, to love him, and to need him. Because to be honest, he feels like a useless person. He's there for no reason, and he gave Electro, or Max Dillon, character. Jamie Foxx did a fantastic job as Electro in this movie, I felt. Out of the three villains, he was the best one. And I'll get to Harry Osborn as the Goblin and Paul Giamatti as a Rhino. So he stops Paul Giamatti as a Rhino, and then he gets taken to a criminal institute called Ravencroft. I'm going to just snip bits here and there. So Peter, basically, most of the movie is, should I be with Gwen, shouldn't I be with Gwen? Because he keeps seeing her dad, and he keeps remembering what he said, saying, leave Gwen out of it. You're going to make enemies. Don't bring her into this. And the whole movie, and this is where I have to feel that the worst part of the movie is, because on and off relationship with Gwen. Like 3 or 4 times they talk, and he's like, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, maybe I should. And it kind of got, like, the first few times, I was like, okay, you kind of have to do it. But then, like, by the 4th time, I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid now. They really have done this too fucking much. And it turns out that the writers from the last movie have been credited, but only because of their input for Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker and the stuff like the backstory of the parents. That's all these guys have done. These other 2 guys who got lucky with the 2 Star Trek movies by J.J. Abrams have been brought in. Problem is, they've done a bunch of shit like Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, and other stuff that I can't really remember off the top of my head. But basically a bunch of shit besides the 2 Star Trek movies that they were somewhat decent, apparently. I haven't seen them, I'm not a Star Trek fan, I could give a fuck less about Star Trek. If it comes to a sci-fi genre, I like series, I like Star Wars. So, I just don't care for Star Trek, I find it boring and unappealing. That's just me. So, I feel that's why the pacing in bits and pieces was a bit bad, and some of the characters were a bit here and there, developed-wise. There's a lot of characters I didn't notice. I've seen reviews as soon as I got in, just to double-check stuff, because it was all spoiler-related stuff, and I didn't want to watch them. And, yeah, I can see what people are saying about these characters that are to do with the Sinister Six and shit. But, in general, I think what was done well. Mark Webb, the director, wanted so much cut from this movie. He wanted those 2 writers gone. He wanted a shitload of stuff. There was talks of putting Mary Jane in this movie. He got her cut because there was too much fucking shit in this movie as it was. Okay, there were 2.5 hours for this much shit was too little. But at the same time, it kind of felt a bit long. It was a bit of a mess. Many people are saying this is a mess of a movie. I don't think it's a train wreck or a mess of a movie, but it's not perfect by any means. I don't know if I prefer this more than the original, which is my favourite Spider-Man movie. But, the fact is, Sony didn't want to do it. The writers didn't want to go. And basically, Sony, the point of it was like, they didn't give a fuck. They were like, whatever, it'll make money. The last time they didn't give a fuck, though, was with Spider-Man 3. And, yeah, that's why there's a fucking reboot. So, hopefully, Sony will fucking buck up their ideas and learn from this, and hopefully pick it the fuck back up with a 3rd one. If there's going to be a 3rd one, even. There's no guarantee of a fucking 3rd one now, which is, I hope the fucking is, because I like this movie. If I had to rate it, it would be an 8 out of 10. The original, for me, was probably an 8 as well. I don't know if I'd say a 9. But these are very strong movies. These are better than the Sam Raimi trilogy any day, in my opinion. That's probably why, because I think Andrew Garfield is perfect. And Emma Stone. So, getting back to the plot, sorry. Basically, Max Dillon has to do maintenance one night. And nobody's coming to help him, because nobody gives a shit about him. And he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And it's on his birthday, which is unfortunate. And he's got these 2 charge cables he's got to put together. And over a tank of electric eels. So right there, you can fucking see what's going to happen. The guy's going to become Electro, there's electric eels in the tank, and a fucking charge cable. What's going to happen? I mean, you know what's going to happen, but that's the point. So he puts it in, he's like, oh, okay, good. And then just as he's about to let go, it has a charge, and he fucking, like, he gets fucking zapped. And he falls into the tub of the eels, and they're eating him and biting him and electrocuting the shit out of him. He's like that, and you can see his skin start to turn blue, like in the. I'll have pictures over it, but you know what Electro looks like in this movie. And he's fucking, and then he like just goes, and fucking the tank just goes. There's no fucking tank. He's just there, encased in like clay. He's dead. He's presumed dead, and basically when he's there, in the area there's a lot of lights, and he's able to take the power from that, and he wakes up, he's like he's like basically been resuscitated. He's like fucking like freaking out and shit, and one of these like buzzsaw things drops from the he knocks into a shelf, and he grabs it, and it's like he doesn't grab it, he's trying to grab it, and it, like the electricity is floating it, so he's able to grab it, levitate it, and he puts it down like that, and he's like, and he notices he's walking and the crust is going off him. He gets his clothes on, and he tries to, basically his eyes, you see from his vision, he sees nothing but fucking wires, circuit boards, connectors, all this shit. And he's like, oh my god. Like he has this craving for power. He needs this power to keep him going. He feels like he's dying. It's like, imagine you're hungry or thirsty. You're going to do anything to get that shit. You're going to do anything to get a drink and something to eat, especially if you're starving or thirsty, because you need it to survive. For him, electricity is what is needed to survive. So, I feel that this was conveyed very well. The scene in Times Square was excellent. I saw little bits of it in the trailer. And it's very well done, I feel, how they show that Electro hates Spider-Man. He admires Spider-Man. He's like, look, help me. I need help. And Spider-Man's like, oh, I remember your name. You're Max, right? And he's like, okay, let me help you. And basically the cops have said, look, shoot him when he's not fucking noticing. And that sets him off, and he thinks Spider-Man's betrayed him. He thinks, oh, he's fucking told him to shoot me and shit. And he basically goes, and he like zaps the fucking shit out of them. And the way that it's done in Times Square, that fight, was very well done in my opinion. I don't think any of the fights in this movie or the previous match up to that of the fight scenes in Spider-Man 2. Those were still the best fight scenes. The one with Doc Ock at the bank, where he's climbing up the wall, and the bit on the train. Those are still the two best fight scenes of any Spider-Man movie. That is the thing I will give the Sam Raimi trilogy. Those fight scenes were good. And in general, the fight scenes were better in those movies. These fight scenes aren't bad. These are still good fight scenes. But I don't feel they're as good. So, with Electro, basically doing all that shit, basically he absorbs everything in Times Square. Blackout, pretty much. I know what it's called because I watched the Watch Dogs thing and he has a blackout. I know it's irrelevant, but still. He is able to suck this electricity in, and he's very powerful now at this point. He's very, very powerful, and he keeps needing it even though he has it, and he doesn't know how to control himself, and he doesn't know his limit. So Spider-Man's able to soak him with a fire hose, and it puts him down, and basically he's knocked out there because water meets electricity. It's not good. So he is then taken to Ravencroft, criminally insane suit, along with the guy. Well, not at the same time, but the guy that was Paul Giamatti's character is taken there. So they're both in there. They don't see each other ever. And basically they're torturing him for information and shit. And he's like, oh, you better kill me because if I don't... He's like, you better kill me with this app because if you don't kill me, I'm going to do so much damage that you will know how it's like to live in a world without rules, without law, without Spider-Man, all this shit. And then basically they dunk him in the tank, and that's what calms him down. In water calms him down. So, by this point, we have Harry Osborn introduced. And Harry Osborn is very bitter towards his father. His father's dying. We knew that in the first film. And basically, he doesn't have a good relationship with his father, because on his 16th birthday, he sent him to boarding school. So, he wanted to get him away. He didn't want anything to do with him, pretty much. And basically, before his dad dies, he goes, yeah, this disease I've got that's taken its toll on me over time, yeah, it's genetic. So, have you noticed your hand twitching recently? And he goes, like, you can see his hand twitching, and he grabs his hand and shit. And basically, in other words, he's saying, yeah, you're fucked. He said, I've got all this stuff I've been trying to save myself. I'm not going to be able to do it. Maybe you have a better chance than I will. Good luck. So, Harry realizes he's dying. And the main motive for Harry in this film is he meets up with Peter again after like 10 years or something. They haven't seen each other. And basically, they have a good friendship. And it shows that he basically says, look, I'm dying. I need help. and he notices that Spider-Man was bitten by the radioactive spiders. He starts to uncover the secrets of Oscorp, which they're not telling him, even though he's the rightful CEO and the heir. So he is very pissed at that. And he basically says, look, Peter, at this point, Peter's got the job at the Daily Bugle. You never see J. Jonah Jameson. He emails him. He says, oh, Jameson's an asshole. He's not paying me and stuff. It's implied he works at the Bugle and he takes a few pictures. It's not a huge thing like in the original tree. That's one thing I wish was in this one. But to be honest, out of all the things that aren't in it, I'm fine with it, honestly. So, he is talking to him saying, look, I need you to find Spider-Man. You know where he lives. Because you take pictures of him. He's like, I don't know where he lives. You know, he's like, look, I need his blood, and there is no guarantee that if I find him and I give you his blood, this is Peter saying that you're going to be cured. He's like, I'd rather take the risk. So Peter, obviously being Spider-Man, later, like a couple of days later, comes in and talks to Harry and basically says, look, I can't do this. I don't want to kill you, and he's doing it because he cares about his friend. But Harry doesn't take it well. He's like, right, I'll go kill him then, and I'll take his blood from his dead, cold hands. And so, basically, he finds out that the venom from these spiders has been stored, which turns out to be the green liquid that will turn him into the Green Goblin. So he's like, okay, you're going to take me to it. And he busts out Electro, and they team up. That's the point where they team up. And so he, I'm trying to just remember, it's been a bit since I've watched it, like a few hours. Basically, he goes and holds the main guy of the company now at gunpoint, doesn't eject it, ejects it, and he starts freaking out. His skin starts going green, his veins are like going green, his whole head is now starting, his hair's free. He looks like a meth addict. It's what everyone was saying about the trailer. The poster and shit, but he does honestly and truthfully look like that. He's like all zapped up and shit, and yeah, pardon me. He's all zapped up and he's basically mutating. His fingernails are getting bigger. He's turning into He's turning into the Green Goblin, and right in front of him is the glider and the suit. So you know what's gonna happen. And basically, Peter tells Gwen, he's like, all right, I love you, I'm not letting you, because she's got a scholarship in England, and at Oxford, and she's like, look, I have to, I love you, I'll follow you to England if I have to, and all this shit. And basically the lights start flickering, and yeah, he's back. Electro's back, and him and Spider-Man have a fight. A very well done fight. I think probably the best fight, debatably the best fight scene in the movie. Very well done. But ultimately, Gwen realizes that because his web shooters got zapped in the first fight, use magnetize them. So he magnetizes them so that now he's able to web Electro without him grabbing hold of the webs and sending an electric current down them to zap him. So at this point, he can now just grab the webs and swing him over and shit. And basically uses his power against him. He webs up the generators and shit and then projects it at Electro and it fries him. Although there is a switch on the side of his head that was used in the Mentalist to see how high his level is of his electricity, and it dies. But I'll get into what I feel is going to happen at the end. And then Gwen's like, "Yay, we did it, yay!" And then all you hear in the background is, which is obviously the Harry Osborn of the Goblin. He finds Spider-Man, and then he sees Gwen, and he knows Peter and Gwen are going out. So he looks back at Spider-Man, and he goes, "Oh, it's you," like that. And he basically feels very betrayed because Spider-Man said no. In fact, it was Peter saying no. And basically, he goes... Sorry about that, my brother's an idiot. He goes into... he takes her away, and they're on like a clock tower. And Peter's like, look, you want to fight me, fight me. Don't bring her in it. So he drops her. And he grabs her and he puts her somewhere safe in the clock tower. And they have a fight in the clock tower and they're bashing up shit. And Goblins almost gets him and shit. And basically there's a point where Goblin's been strangled. Gwen's dangling off the edge. And Spider-Man's holding his foot in the cogs to try and stop the clock from moving so that Gwen doesn't fall. And basically the clock breaks. Goblin gets thrown against the wall and knocked out. Gwen starts to fall to the bottom of the clock tower. Peter's like dazzled and shit. He jumps down and he webs just too late. And he webs, and as he webs, her body bends and her head smacks the ground. And he's just literally probably 5 seconds too late. It's affected him really badly. At that point, then it shows like a period of about probably 4 or 5 months. He keeps visiting her grave, and he never wants to be Spider-Man again. He never wants anything to do with it. And essentially, the Rhino comes back into the fray, because basically the Man in Black that is revealed to us. I cannot remember who the hell it is for the love of my life. I wish I could tell you guys, but I cannot remember who it is. Honestly and truthfully, I cannot remember who it is. The best that can be said though is that he goes to visit Harry, and Harry's like, "Look, I want to go get him. I want to go get him. He's betrayed me. Let's go get him." And he's like, "Sir, we did what you said. We will assemble." He said, "I want a small team." So then he walks past, and I'll show the picture about now. He walks past a glass-cased like area where there's vulture wings and 4 metal tentacles, which, if you know anything about the villains, it's Vulture and Dr. Octopus. There's also the Rhino suit, which then Paul Giamatti's character gets in, and at the end of the film, basically Spider-Man, Peter Parker realizes, no, I need to be Spider-Man, I need to do this for Gwen, this is what Gwen wanted, this is what she believed in, I need to do this for her and her father, I can't just give up. And he comes in, and yeah, the big complaint is that everyone's going, man, you thought the Venom fight was shit, really short in Spider-Man 3, look at this fucking shit. Yeah, it was basically they charge at each other, and then he hits him in the credits end. Yes. Now, I'll get into that as a complaint in a moment, but yes, that is the problem that everyone seems to have. However, I feel it was done well, but to be honest, Rhino as a character was a dumb shit who would try and fight Spider-Man, get his ass handed to him, and in the same issue get arrested. Pardon me. So, to be quite frankly honest, the fact that it's such a short bit for him, yeah, that kind of sucks. But it is relatable to the comics. He was in it for very short appearances. If it wasn't for the Sinister Six, he probably wouldn't have been a big deal. So, basically, at this point, 4 of the team have been assembled. We've got Lizard from the first movie. We have Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin, which I feel this is going to be different than the actual Sinister Six, because the Sinister Six, the leader was Doc Ock. In this one, I feel it's going to be Green Goblin. Green Goblin wants to assemble this team. So I am not got a problem with the leader, as long as they're all there and they're all represented well. Electro. Now, this is the one that I was going to get back to. The thing on his head that he died suddenly. He was able to enter pipes, circuits, and travel around the city. So my guess is he stored himself in that tiny little car. This is something that my friend who saw it with me said. If they give him a small bolt of electricity in there, he could technically come back to life. Which me and her were saying, and I agree. That would be the only way to bring him back, really. It would be the smart way to bring him back. Whether these 2 dumbasses are going to do it, though, who have taken over the writing, we don't know. Fingers crossed they do. And then the film ends like that, pretty much. So, basically, the next film, if it's going to be done right, should be about Vulture and Doc Ock. No one else. Gwen's out of the picture. She's passed away. So there's no more of this Gwen and Peter thing. The only thing you could do is Mary Jane, which you cut out of this movie, thank fuck, because the last thing I think this needed was a fucking another character to fucking take screen time. Because, Jesus fucking Christ. Nothing wrong with the actress. The actress was fine. But there was no reason for Mary Jane to be in this movie. No fucking reason. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, what about Rhino? Well, Rhino needs to be assembled into this team. Yes, he could have had more screen time, but what he had I felt was fine. But at the same time, the final bit was a bit anticlimactic. I would have rather him being beaten up and all of this shit. So, I mean, what you see of Rhino, half of what you see of Rhino is in the fucking trailers. The bit with the mech where he's got the sewer drain can thing and he's swinging it in the missiles, that is the mech suit. That's all you see of that mech suit in the trailer. Pretty much, maybe 30, 40 seconds more, but that's pretty much all you're gonna fucking see of Rhino. And with Green Goblin, I felt there was enough of him. You see more of a build-up to him as Harry than the Green Goblin, which I was fine with. It gave him a good motivation to become the Goblin. But at the same time, yes, they could have had a bit more with Goblin. I would have liked to have seen Electro and Goblin go at Spider-Man same fucking time. That would have been cooler. Instead of, there's Electro, he gets rid of him, then there's Goblin. But, you know, at least we saw both of them. I'm glad we had a fight with both of them. So, in general, I will summarize the villains. Everyone, that's the biggest complaint. The villains are underdeveloped. Electro was developed extremely fucking well. So was Harry Osborn as Goblin. Rhino, I will give you that. That one was the weak character. If Rhino was not in this movie, it wouldn't have affected it too much. Gonna be fucking honest with you. He's at the start and he's at the end. That's it. So it wouldn't have fucking mattered. But in the long run, I feel Rhino was fine in the movie. I'm not a huge Rhino fan, so I'm not pissed off. But, yeah, so next film. Have a little bit of Rhino, but more than this, but not too much. But a little bit more, maybe half an hour with Rhino. Then focus on Vulture and Doc Ock. Then for the fourth movie, you can bring the six together. That would be fine with me. Gonna be honest. But I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't even know if there's going to be a third. I hope there's a third one because I did enjoy this movie. I will be buying it on DVD. Was it disappointing? Tiny bit, but most of it I was happy with. It was just the stuff with Peter and Gwen that really slowed down the movie a little bit here and there and made it feel long in parts. Apart from that, it was fine. So if you were considering going to see it, I'd still recommend it. I still think it's very good. If you're a huge fan of Electro, definitely go see it. If you're a huge fan of Green Goblin, you might be a bit disappointed. If you're a huge fucking fan of Rhino, then you can walk in the movie at the start and then go for a piss for about 2 hours and then come back in. And then or a shit for 2 hours and then come back in. That's all you need. It's not worth the price of admission if you're going to go see Rhino. Honestly, it's not. I didn't expect Rhino to be a big part anyway. So, yeah. Before I go into trailers, there was a bit after the credits. But it had nothing to fucking do with Spider-Man. And I felt that was just fucking stupid. It's basically a fucking minute-and-a-half clip of the upcoming X-Men Days of Future Past, which we saw a trailer for, and I'll get into that in the trailer section. But to that, I went, yeah, it's good and all, but I want to see more on Spider-Man. I've paid to see fucking Spider-Man. I've seen the trailer for the fucking film before the film started. Why the fuck do I need to see it? It's like no one fucking knew X-Men Days of Future Past was coming out this year. And that to me just felt fucking stupid. I was like, what? Why put that in there? Why? So, yeah, but overall, 8 out of 10. Solid movie, very good. I'm going to get it on DVD because I've enjoyed it. I had to think about it a little bit, but I did enjoy this, honestly and truthfully. I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was very fun, very enjoyable, and if I could have directed it better, I would have done it just Electro and Goblin, and then not worried about Rhino at the beginning and end, and maybe cut down on Gwen a bit, and Gwen and Peter's love story a bit. But yeah, hopefully there'll be another one. Please be another one. Thank you. So yeah, if that's all you wanted, then great. If you want to stick around for my opinion on the trailers I got a wide selection. I cannot remember all of them, but I think I got about 5 out of the. Actually, there's another one. I've just got to add now. Or did I get it? I'm not sure. I got to add one more. So, yeah. Upcoming next is trailers. Enjoy. Okay, so the first trailer we got. Trying to remember I can't remember the order, but I'll go through the trailers one by one. So the first one that we got that I can remember was Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, which I've heard a lot about, and I've seen the trailer already, and it looked actually pretty good. Essentially what happens is he's a Marine in this Space Corps sort of thing, with this suit that shoots and shit. and he keeps dying, and they keep losing the war, and basically every day he dies, he goes back and he finds out Emily Blunt's character it keeps happening to her as well. So he's like, okay, every time you die, come back to me. We'll train up and we'll sort this out. One time in the trailer that made me laugh was he breaks his leg during training. She shoots him in the head, and he comes back alive in the same day again, and they go back and train. So I like that. I thought it was it looks interesting, and the tagline of it is "Live, die, repeat, live, die, repeat, live, die, repeat." I feel it has potential, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. It comes out the May 30th. Most of these films come out May 30th. There's another one that I'm not going to talk about that comes out May 30th that me and my friend who saw Spider-Man are definitely going to go see. That's the new Seth MacFarlane movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West. That looks so fucking funny. So I'm definitely going to go see that and have a small review of that. It'll only be 5-10 minutes because it's a comedy. I'm going to go much into detail. But yeah, that'll be one. So overall, Edge of Tomorrow looks promising. I'm not saying it's a definite fail or a definite succeed, like a definite watch or don't watch. But it looks promising. It looks like it's kind of taking that film. What was that film? Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he's on a train and there's a bomb and he has to figure out who put the bomb there and shit. He's like kind of like that, but in a war situation. It looks alright. It looks interesting. So yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, not bad. Okay, so next we got 22 Jump Street. This is a Sony movie, so it was kind of obvious that it was going to be in Spider-Man. But Sony has Spider-Man as well. It didn't look too bad. I didn't see the original. It just didn't look like my cup of tea. It had a few funny moments. I chuckled out like, that's funny. But it's not something I'm going to go see. I don't find Jonah Hill that funny. Channing Tatum's there for the ladies more than anything. It doesn't look bad, but I didn't watch or give a shit about the first one, so there's no point in me going to see this other one. So if you're a fan of 21 Jump Street, then 22 Jump Street does look fucking funny. So look forward to that. I think that comes out June or July, so not too long. So, yeah, if you like 21 Jump Street and you want to see the second one, yeah, I'd recommend it from the trailer, to be honest. But that's me, so, yeah. Okay, the third one was Maleficent, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is the big Disney film that everyone has been hyping up. I can't not fucking, every time I go on the internet, I fucking hear about it. Angelina Jolie's that Maleficent and all this shit. It looks dark. It looks intriguing. I'm not going to go see it because I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. But it does look good and promising. It looks like it's going to be a good film. Angelina Jolie plays her part well. I think they're honestly just bigging up the fact that fucking Angelina Jolie is Maleficent more than anything. That's all I kept saying in the trailer. Angelina Jolie is Maleficent. Great. Good for her. It looked alright. If you're a fan of the Maleficent, sorry, I can't fucking say that word. If you're a fan of it, the Disney one, fucking dog. If you're a fan of that, then I feel you're gonna enjoy. I'm gonna feel you're gonna enjoy this. To be honest, I didn't know anything about it. I don't care about it. It's not my cup of tea. But yeah, it looks alright. Second to last, Godzilla. Godzilla suck a dick from that. Just type in Godzilla sucks dick. It will play a clip from, I think it was Godzilla Tokyo SOS, where it sounds like a Japanese guy saying, Godzilla suck a dick. I was pissing myself. I'm immature as shit. So, Godzilla. Seen the trailer before. It's been all over the goddamn internet. We all know what it is by now. It looks promising. It comes out in a week, this time next week, so it looks promising. I'm probably going to go see it. It looks very, very good. I really want to see this. It does look good, I'm not going to lie. So, Godzilla, probably the best film out of the lot that I've seen. The last one, I mean, it wasn't bad, the last one, but I'll get into it in a minute. Yeah, I said I've already talked about it a little bit. So, yeah, it doesn't look bad. I will definitely be going to see Godzilla when I can. First week though, we fucking out of the fucking question. It's going to be busy as shit. Same for when Star Wars comes out. Pardon me. Same for when Star Wars comes out, Episode 7. It's going to be so busy the first 2 weeks. It's probably going to be sold out every fucking seat. So yeah, yeah, not bad. I thought Godzilla looked promising. I think it was the best trailer out of the ones that I've got. So yeah, not bad. And finally, X-Men: Days of Future Past. It does look promising. It was a new trailer I hadn't seen. It does look good. I had a feeling that this year I was like, oh well, there's only 3 Marvel movies. There's Captain America, there's Spider-Man, and then there's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, we've got X-Men: Days of Future Past. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that one. That comes out 30th of May. Same as ever. If you hear a noise downstairs, it's my fucking dog. I've just had a row with him. It looks good. It looks really good. I think Godzilla looks better though. But that's because I'm not really a huge X-Men fan anyway. I mean, I like X-Men, but I don't really care for it as a comic. It's just not for me. But I do like the first 2 X-Men movies. The third one was atrocious. Elaine Page as Kitty was, I think it was Kitty Prada or something like that, was very good. She's back in this one as well. I didn't see Origins. Apparently it wasn't very good, as I've heard. I didn't see the Wolverine. Apparently that was very good. And then this one. So it looks good. Basically, Trask Industries is like making these Sentinels, and they start hunting down mutants. Then once all the mutants are dead, they start to kill normal people. And basically, the comic is they take people from the future and the past, Days of Future Past, and they're fighting together. Old and young X-Men fighting together in order to save the world. So, there's going to be a lot of time travel in this movie. It's probably going to confuse the fuck out of everyone. It looks interesting, looks fun, looks good. I am not happy they played a fucking clip of it at the end of a Spider-Man movie, though. It really pissed me off. I'm like, really? You're going to force that fucking thing in me? That pissed me off. But I will say this does look promising. It does look good. So I'll definitely be waiting for reviews on it. The X-Men fans are going apeshit for it because it's a big comic, the Sentinels and shit. So, yeah, definitely looking into this one and going to see about it. So, yeah. Overall, good lot of trailers. Had a lot of... film was good fun, and the trailers were pretty good as well. So, yeah, not bad show, I will say. Next film to review will probably be any of the fucking following. It will probably be it will be Godzilla. It could be the X-Men movie. It could be... probably more than likely will be A Million Ways to Die in the West. If I had to pick 2 of those films to see, X-Men is probably the least of my worries, because I just don't care that much for X-Men. It's just not my thing. So, but I would give X-Men a watch. I will be interested. Edge of Tomorrow also looks very good. I don't know, there's like 5 films coming out right at the end of this fucking month. I've got Watch Dogs to buy, I've got Wolfenstein to buy, and I've at least got to go see A Million Ways to Die in the West. I've got a lot of fucking money to spend, so I don't know if I'll have enough money for all of them. I might see another one other than A Million Ways to Die in the West. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I wasn't too boring for you. And, yeah, next reviews and shit coming up soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to review next. I might review Killzone and Knack. Bear in mind I've had them beat for a while. I don't know. I'll see about it. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.